Hey guys, welcome to the Entertainment Roundup. I'm J77 here talking to you via by Starbucks. As always, I got some entertainment stories I'm going to talk about. But before I get started, I want to give you guys a little heads up. It's going to be more opinionated than usual because a lot of stuff happens where a lot of opinions was thrown out there. So it's more about the opinions of the story than the story itself. So we want to give you guys a heads up. I'm not going to go with the usual format. Who knows? This may be actually a good thing. So, without further ado, let's talk about the 2017 induction of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A lot of the inductees was done here. I'm gonna run down the list. Some of them I heard of course. Some I didn't. Joan Bress was one of them, as well as the Electric Light Orchestra. You also had ELO, Living Thing, I believe. Journey has also made it into the band. Pearl Jam, of course, they definitely made it. I'm surprised they didn't wasn't inducted a long time ago. We also have Tupac, and that's where the controversy has gone. The other ones are yes. But it's Tupac that caught a lot of people attention, and for the reasons that a lot of people had actually was debating even before Tupac was even mentioned. Now let's get something real clear. Tupac, despite his controversy, despite his lifestyle, was a very talented guy when it came to music. His music and how he presented it is undeniable and still has a strong, lasting effect to this day. Is a very sad tragedy that he didn't live long enough to go even beyond his potential, which is one of the most tragic things. He died at a very young age, very violently. Nevertheless, it shouldn't take away what the fact is that he did bring out some music that still touch people right now. One of the songs is "Dear Mama," and that was a um, big hit with the music. All Eyes on Me was one of the greatest albums that he made, and I'm saying that even despite the fact uh, that he had passed away before the album was actually released. With that being said, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and not many people are very happy about it. Many people are saying that rap is not rock, and it shouldn't be part of that category. I think people is making have forgotten one major thing: rap, R&B, hip hop do not have a Hall of Fame of their own. They never had. And to this day, it blown my question is why don't they have one? And should they be mingled in with rock? This seemed to came to my question even before this whole controversy came up when Rum DMC, as you all know, Rum DMC is in the Hall of Fame. Many considered Rum DMC as rap, even though a lot of their music had rock and roll elements. Walk This Way is a cover that is one of the most popular covers that you can actually hear on classic radio. In fact, some people even debate that it actually surpassed the original on Walk This Way. How you see it and how you may debate about it is still up in the air. But the question is, Tupac is pretty much straight rap. There's really not much. There's rock and roll elements there, but not as strong to actually call it a hybrid. And so many people are questioning is why should he even be considered in the Hall of Fame when his music is in the Hall of Fame? Well, I think the question is what he had contributed to music. Period. Would I like to see R&B and rap have their own Hall of Fame? Of course I do. But it's non-existent right now. Rock and roll is there, and the fact that rock and roll can actually recognize Tupac as a great musician, just in general, is a very strong feat. Again, I did not expect to see Tupac there. I really didn't. I was kind of surprised that he was actually there. But to say that he didn't deserve any recognition, I think people are missing how talented he really was. He started with Digital Underground, really was one of the only few of the guys from Digital Underground that actually branched out and became even more popular. Even some of this music that came out after his death has strong staying power. My feeling is this, and I'll read it here. What it says here. It says that Tupac was born in the struggle. His mother affiliated was the leader of the Black Panther movement, but grew up became not just a multi-platinum rapper, but a movie star. He managed to become both The realist artist in the genre, obsessed with authenticity and larger than life. His song preaches activism in express rage and love, raise questions without answers, with was a lightning rod, a scream into the millions of people continuing to protest their feeling about rap, about race, about young black men in America today. It says here that in Tupac's first solo album, Tupacalypse, was now instantly generate both acclaim and controversy through the single Brenda Got a Baby, which was a very controversial song, demonstrating his emphases and conscience. The album inspired um, inspired pretty much harsh criticism for promoting street violence, um, and as well as pretty much hard criticism for then Vice President Dan Quayle. It says, but even the rap sheet grew, even his rap sheet grew. His record kept getting better, accumulating from the ever popular 1996 All Eyes on Me, which spawned 5 singles, including 2 number 1 hits, California Love and How Do You Want It. Meanwhile, his performance in Juice, Poetic Society, and Above the Rim and other movies revealed powerful screen presence. It also explains here how his talent was tragically cut short during that time when he was gunned down. He was 25 years old. He did all this at the age of 25. So, really, in all due respect, it is a very big accomplishment for what he did at a very young age. But again, there's a lot of people are not very happy that he's in this list, and many people are suggesting should he actually be on this list. My opinion is this: if the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acknowledge his accomplishments and put him on this in the Hall of Fame, who am I really to argue? Should he be there? I got no beef about what people are criticizing it for, but I think you also have to take a look at the simple fact is one, until they actually have a hip hop or rap Hall of Fame, which they don't have, I think this is the next best thing. Should they have their own thing? Yes. But am I mad that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is acknowledging his accomplishments? Absolutely not. Like I said, this is a huge accomplishment. And look at this, ain't the first rapper in it. Like I said, Run DMC had made it in this list. It's not like they don't have R&B musicians here. And again, it's still up to debate. And I think that if anything, I think the industry will probably do make an R&B or hip hop or rap Hall of Fame just for that genre. Hey, like I said, there's country, so I wouldn't mind if they have one. But for now, I think it's not much overblown, but does bring the question of should this type of, because remember, music in general, as a musician, I'm looking at this as a musician. He deserves his place in there, in mortality, in terms of what he have accomplished, what he have done, and especially at such a young age that he have done it. With that being said, is it time to raise the question of the categorizing of how they do it? Yeah, I think it does. Because like I said, you don't expect Tupac to be in the Country Hall of Fame. I think the people were saying that rock and roll should be for rock and roll. But also keep in mind, I want people to understand this: rock and roll is not what it used to be. It doesn't have that same popularity as it once was. And keyword popularity, which means that most people listen to the radio, especially in the urban cities, don't listen to rock and roll as much as they used to. In the 80s, it was almost everywhere. You can't avoid it. Not now. Most of the radio stations are playing R&B and rap, and that's largely because it brings in the dough. That's just the sad reality of it. I'd like to hear your opinion on what I just said here. I'd like to hear what you have to guys on this matter. So you guys bring it up. All right. I was debating whether or not to talk about the Mass Effect dilemma. A lot of YouTubers have been saying stuff about it. I have not played a game, so my feeling is basically on the stuff they were saying, but neither is from the cut from scenes that I've seen from people playing it, from Angry Joe's not much of a rant, but pretty much disappointment in terms of how developers. This is one of the reasons why I can't take the gaming industry as serious as I once were, especially when we're at 2017 and they not only bring out a product that's either incomplete, buggy as hell, or just basically just cut half of the content off just so they can sell it as exclusive for more money, and that's the situation. But to me, it's not about the game anymore. It's not about the quality game anymore. It's more about how much they can line your pocket. Keep in mind what bothers me about this. If it was one thing, if EA did not know these problems happen, which they should, because they should have game testers to test their product before they bring it out to the general public. Gamers are spending $60 to $70 for a game, which is outrageous to begin with. And I'm not even including the other season pass, but they gotta pay more for. But the problem I have with it, EA knew about this problem before the game was actually released. They knew about it because they had pre-tested. They should have realized this was going to be a problem, and they just basically dumped it out there, knowing how bad the game was in terms of glitches, in terms of structure. And to me, I'm more upset by that than anything else, because it basically said to the gaming consumer that they don't care. Alright, we know, yeah, this game is glitchy, this game is bad, but we'll fix it later. No, fix it now. They should have fixed it now. Like I said, $70 is nothing to sneeze at. And as a consumer, this is insulting, and this is the kind of practice that has been going on way too long in the gaming industry. You would think, like in the 80s, there were glitches, there was no problem. There were messed up mechanics, right? But that was largely because either A, the game was not advanced enough, B, the technology wasn't there. Now there's no excuse. And to me, that's the problem what I have with not just EA in general. EA had a bad reputation to begin with, but just how a lot of these games are just being shoved out there, being butchered and shoved out there with these problems. And it's like, we don't care, we'll fix it later if anything else. And to me, if I'm paying $60, I want to get the full experience of a game. You know, glitches happen. I understand it happens, but when it happens to that large degree, and the game industry knows about it and they don't fix it, that's a problem. And EA should be ashamed of himself for actually throwing this game out to people. From Angry Joe had a very interesting review. He basically said that the game itself isn't as bad as the reviews have, but the glitches and the bad storyline makes it far worse than what it needed to be, and that's a shame. Again, for me as a consumer, there should be no excuse for that kind of practice. There should be no excuse for throwing a game out there that you know is buggy. Take the time. If you need to delay it, delay it. And explain why you're delaying it. There's some problem with the game. There's some glitches with the game. We want to make sure people get their money's worth. So we're gonna postpone it, fix it, and make sure the game is ready to go. Not throwing out, knowing it, not throwing it out there, and just wait till later on to patch it up. That don't make no sense. Want your opinion on that? I'd love to hear your opinion on that. Put it in the comment section below. For those who are sports fans, I'm going to talk about two college teams that had made it far into the NCAA tournament. I will go with the women first. More about the team who everybody was hoping to win. It didn't happen, of course. That is, of course, the Connecticut women. They have won a whole lot of games leading right up to the Final Four, and was upset in the Final Four. It was a shocker to everybody else who saw that game. It was a shot in the arm, and I was kind of worried about that for a while, because again, when you have the Final Four the way it is, there is no best of seven. You just one and done, that's it. And I always felt that Connecticut got this winning streak, and they taking this winning streak right in the tournament. You just gotta hope that that one team doesn't come out and just basically upset them, and that's exactly what happened. Mississippi State beat them, by a score of 66-64, and it was a surprise. The sports media went with it. I was disappointed. Of course, I'm being a Yukon Husky fan from both the men and the women division, and seeing that happen, like it had to happen. But again, it was something that you kind of expected to happen because again, the pressure's on Connecticut. It wasn't really on anybody else. It was clearly on Connecticut, and for a while, it looked like they was going to breeze past this tournament. They were winning games in almost blowout fashion in some to a large point. But then that game came along, and all of a sudden, boom, going right back to reality that hey, you can any given moment you can lose. But again, they have a tremendous feat. They got the record, which they hold as the most winning team in college basketball. So they got nothing to be ashamed of. To me, they did exactly what you come to expect them to do, and more, and they did. And to me, that's all you can ask. So a lot of people said it was a major disappointment. It's a major disappointment in terms of them not winning it, especially when they had a very long streak. But to me, it just goes to show that just any given moment, because remember, there's no best of 7 in the NCAA tournament. And congratulations to South Carolina. Let's keep it real. I mean, these teams make it there. They had a reason to be there. So congratulations to South Carolina. They won their championship. I believe this is their first or second within the league. Let me just make sure that's correct. But they made it far. They won, and yeah, that's their first title. So again, it was a very, very interesting, unpredictable sport. Even though a lot of people was really banking on Connecticut, when it comes to the NCAA tournament, you can't really do that, especially since the tournament is one of those tournaments where you got to win every game. Basically, you got to go undefeated from beginning to end. And speaking of someone on a team who was definitely, and out of all the teams, his team needs it, not just for the college, because they are a popular, famous college team, but for the state, and that is NC State, the Tar Heels, winning their 6th championship. And it's good for two things. One, they are a good college program. They in terms of sports, they got a good football team, a dominant basketball team. They know more for their basketball team than anything else. But after the events that's happening with North Carolina and the bathroom law that they wish finally they got it repealed, this was something that they solely needed, something that will bring a positive light to NC, the state of North Carolina, than anything else. And to me, that's the more importantly, because many of the media said, finally something good is coming out of North Carolina. Not to knock the people of the state. They're not the ones that's passing laws there, but the law that they have passed has such a huge backlash with in terms of the media, in terms of business, in terms of them having any future events in that state. This was a much-needed victory, probably more than any of the victories I've seen in a while since we've seen the infamous Yankee and the Yankees making it to the World Series during 9/11. That's how much of a distraction that state needed, and they got it. This was a very, very good achievement, their 6th title, and again, it really, for that time being, even for a short while, it gave some new light to not just for the College of Carolina, not just for the T and the Tar Heels, but just for the state in general. They desperately needed that, and they got it. So congratulations towards them as well. A very, very, very good victory for them in the desert. So my hats off to them. It's been a very, in all, very, very interesting tournament for the men. More so for them than the women, because a lot of people again were so bent on Connecticut that when it lost, it was a major upset. Not many people were saying major upset too much. There were some upsets, don't get me wrong, but it was more on the fact that Connecticut was the major upset than any other team. I think any team at any given time can actually beat the other team, and that's exactly what I got from here. I, of course, was actually rooting for Xavier more so than anything else, especially when Connecticut was there. I was saying, let me see if Xavier won. Of course, they did well, but not far enough. But again, North Carolina, they did it. So congratulations to both college teams. Now let's finally get on to the Nassau Coliseum. Before I get to what happened yesterday, well, in case you guys haven't, in case it's not universal, this is pretty much more local, more grounded uh, in Nassau County. There was a situation where people bought tickets to a concert. I forgot who was playing there. It was one of the first major concerts that they re-renovated. And tickets was running very high. I mean, whoever this person was, he definitely was asking for a high class price. I mean, some of the tickets went up to $400. So the last thing you want to hear is you paid $400 for a ticket that didn't exist. That's exactly what happened. Now, according to the reports and according to Nassau officials, there was some kind of mix-up. They changed the wording or something in the computer, but it didn't register. Their ticket didn't register, so a lot of people was left on the cold. There's been conflicted reports about them tickets being refunded. The fans who were supposed to go into that ticket would say that they didn't offer no refunds, so who knows what would happen there. You could only assume, since they knew it was there for and acknowledged the responsibility came on them, that they actually refunded. But this is a situation where I had a discussion at home with my roommates, that they should have had this prepared before they opened the stadium. This is something similar to what was going on in the Barclays Center, and that was more of a security situation more than anything else, where people was complaining about, you have these metal detectors for Jay-Z in his concert, but you don't have the metal detector for I believe it was who was that? She's one of those things. His name is Skate. I'll find out who that is, but it was a woman. She's one of those veteran women. I'm trying to get her name. For some reason, it's being blocked out. But that was an incident where the metal detectors, and it turns out now they have the metal detectors for all events, no matter who's playing and no matter if the Nets playing. So the metal detectors are up. But that was an issue right there. But this here is a little bit more different because it's involving money, and the fact is, there should have been some protocol to make sure that the seats are properly aligned. Let's make sure that everybody gets enough tickets to go to these events, and that didn't happen for some reason. That's not the only problem that Nassau Coliseum having, and they're actually asking parking lot vendors to lower their prices because it's ridiculously high. They're charging for a car, and I actually looked at the list. The car is $40. Buses are $50. I believe the van is the same thing as $50, but they're saying, whoa, that's way too much. You're asking people to fork a lot of money. Basically saying, if you don't like it, take the train. But a good majority of people coming from the Coliseum are coming by car. Very rarely are they coming by the Long Island Railroad, so that's going to be an issue there. So they got a lot of stuff to iron out. Overall, I seen that the structure's not bad. It's beautiful. But they do have a long way to go. According to what I understand, it's going to be pretty much holding, the concert events and other events they want to put in. They want to probably put a minor team. They also are trying to lure the Islanders back from Brooklyn because they're not really happy with the situation with Brooklyn. Which is something that I'm kind of scratching my head of. If they knew they was renovating the Coliseum, why not just keep the Islanders there and have them play there as the newly renovated building? Something just escapes me, so I feel that there's a lot more shadiness with that going on. But anyway, I digress. But the point is, when it comes to tickets and when it comes to people paying a lot of money for these tickets, you can't have that same mistake repeating itself. Hopefully they fix it. Hopefully that will be an isolated incident. And hopefully this won't damage the reputation of those who are in charge of that. And that's just about it, guys. That's all I got to say in terms of what I said. Nice 24-minute show. Susan, I'm trying to get this girl's name. This girl is very popular. It's not Bette Midler. It's her name, Barbra Streisand. There we go. Barbra Streisand was the concert. There was Jay-Z. Jay-Z had his concert doing the first event. There was metal detectors. Barbra Streisand had her event, and there was no metal detectors, and that caused a huge uproar for a lot of people saying, "Wait, you let us go for metal detectors, but those who were fans of Barbra Streisand didn't. So that was a whole big issue from there. I knew it was going to get that name. I don't know why it escapes me. So that's a whole situation. Now everybody's going for metal detectors, no matter who the stars are or what event is. So there you go. Once you're feeling it, it's always have to be points. Again, this is more opinionated, but I think it works better that way. Give me your opinion down below. Let me know what you think. And until next time, it's J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.